Hello, Blue Justin here, still Justin, still not blue, and today I am going to be doing my September haul. A bit belated, but not too bad. Yeah, I realise that I still haven't done my missing months from the end of February to the beginning of September, best of if you like, but if I keep on leaving it, I'm just going to get more and more behind it, and it's just going to end up as totally undoable, so it won't end up being done at all. So I'm going to start off with trying to do the next month that needs doing, which is September. Now, I did overdo September somehow. Don't ask me how, I just did. So I'm going to have to go reasonably rapidly if I can through these, otherwise this video will be ridiculously long rather than just too long like they normally are. Okay, so I might as well get into it relatively quickly, and starting off with The Last Breath. This is a nice little shark movie that I am being told is much better than it has any right to be. Looking at the description, a lot of people thought it was going to be the standard shark movie that really wasn't that much cop, but apparently it's a little bit above average on that front. So looking forward to seeing that one. Yeah, only 97 minutes, so might be able to pop that one in before I go to bed one night, because I'm a night person. So maybe might even do some sort of reviewing purpose of that. Okay, next up there is The Getaway. Now I think I have 3 movies now called The Getaway. This is the Alec Baldwin, Kim Basinger one, also with Michael Madsen and James Woods, so that's a really nice cast. One of the others is a totally different movie, I think, but this one is a remake of the early one from the 70s, which is regarded as a bit of a classic, unfortunately. Yes, it's which has Steve McQueen and Ali McGraw in it, and I'm really looking forward to this. I'm don't think actually I'm thinking about it. I'm not sure I do have the Steve McQueen one, because it appears to be a little bit harder to get hold of than I hoped, but it's on my one list. So yeah, this one's thrown in prison after a robbery gone wrong, bailed out in return for help, this sort of thing. Honestly, this will be your last job. And then it all goes double crossy and guns are blazing. Yeah, so that sounds really good. And next up we have the last in a series that I've been watching for quite some time, so me and my wife very much enjoy, and that is The Crown. This is the complete final season, and I've left the stupid HMV sticker on, so I'll get rid of that. I think it's the 6th season, the final one. Like a lot of people have said, I agreed with, preferred the earlier series, but unlike a lot of people, I don't think it's necessarily that the earlier series were better. I just think that it's much more difficult to watch a drama that's based on fact but fills in stuff behind the scenes that they have no idea about really, for stories that actually occurred in your lifetime. I think that now this has reached a time when myself definitely, and quite a lot of the watchers, will actually have not only been alive but very familiar with what was going on at the time, Very much a case of, I really don't know. It's not very fair to think about what they were saying behind closed doors. You've got no idea. Whereas in the early series, when it was going back to the start of Queen Elizabeth's reign, it was very much a case of, well, I wasn't around at the time. I'd really no idea what was going on. It fit the story. It was a good story. It didn't really matter, or didn't have an impact. It didn't have that sort of like, I'm upset because I think you've misjudged someone there sort of feeling. Anyway, that's my opinion. But anyway, yeah, looking forward to this one. Next up, I got some steelbooks. What do you know? Yeah, very sad to say that I've never actually seen this, but it's a classic, so I might as well. I thought might as well get it now. It's on a very reasonably priced steelbook, and that is Taxi Driver 4K. Yes, indeed. I know, should have seen it by now. I know that Big Paulie was in the same situation, hadn't seen it. When he finally got around to it, wasn't as impressed as he was expecting to be, and quite a lot of people were quite scathing on that. But everybody likes what they like, and I might be the same. I might think it's very worthy, but I don't particularly get on with it. But I don't know until I watch it. So that will be Taxi Driver. Next up, totally different. Looking forward to this. Is much more fun, and this is Bad Boys Ride or Die steelbook. Yeah, really looking forward to this one. I enjoy all the Bad Boys movies. First one's my favourite by some way, but I mean, they're all very good and all good fun. Like I said, I'm probably going through these a bit quicker than normal because I've got quite a lot to go through. Next up we have Civil War. Now, I know this one's split opinion. I dare say I'll I don't know which camp I'm likely to fall into. I'm personally worried that it's actually far too close to being more of a future potential documentary with the US falling apart, with a number of states that have in the past few years wanted to secede from the United States and become self-governing. Threats of sending in the Home Guard, that's Dad's Army, National Guard, and different forces fighting each other in a civil war. It's all very worrying when the nation is this powerful. It's all very worrying for any side, but especially. But yeah, lovely steelbook as well, though, with nice embossing around the design. I really like that one. Next up, one that is an upgrade for me again, and that is the 4K steelbook of The Killing Joke. Yeah, I think I've had this one on DVD, Blu-ray, and now got the 4K steelbook, so at least I can stop there. I really like that design, though I thought it was supposed to be in colour. Now I'm not sure, but I know this is one of those those plastic sliding slips with polythenes, so I don't know whether it's a polythene slip with black and white over a steelbook, which is actually colour if you once you take it off, and I've been a little bit quicker than I expected so far, so let's have a little look and see what's inside. I'll get to the end now and you'll say, I told you should have sped through them. Right. Got glue? Yeah, got glue. I love that on the back, that's so nice. It's almost reflective. Now I'm putting fingerprints all over it. So yeah, that's how it actually looks, and these are stickers, so they'll come off, and hopefully they'll come off not the same as the ones for the Crow 4K. I've been saying for a while with these plastic slips, the big problem with them is that when you haven't got a plastic slip, you did a normal steelbook, they were putting stickers on so they would neaten up the artwork. But when they had a plastic slip, they printed the age rating stickers on the plastic slip. So you either had a choice of plain steelbook or putting out the plastic slip, but then you had to have the stickers show the age rating showing. They finally got around to putting stickers on the plastic slip cover, but I think one of the first ones they did it on was the Crow, and a lot of people found that the paint that they used, or printing paint, whatever they use on the actual plastic slip, meant that when you took the age rating sticker off, it peeled off some of the paint as well, and it was awful. I was very lucky on my copy. It seemed to come off okay, but I knew that the paint that they used on it was very, very delicate, because just actually using my fingernail to try and get underneath the sticker, even though once it was there, it pulled off okay, that actually scratched off some paint. So I'm glad to see that they've worked it out differently now, so that on this one you can tell they haven't painted the plastic on the slip, they've actually printed it into the plastic itself, so it can't, there's nothing to scratch off, which is great. That's a long way of saying again, they're improving again. This is good. So I can take off these age ratings with no risk of it looking rubbish. Now, that is the King Front with slip, but as I think I found that, yes, I realised that if you actually take off the slip, that is the front of the steel, matte finish, very, very nice indeed. With that is your solid slip, with the only see-through bit being the eyes. The back of the steel is the classic picture from that as well. That's the back of the card. So yes, that looks absolutely brilliant. Checks time. Go on then. Right. What's inside? Joker card. Not fully there. Lots of ha-ha-has. And that's just the black 4K blue Blu-ray. I think you can see, if you can just about make out there's no real proper image, it's just repeated laughter, cartoon style on the inside, so nothing special there. But yes, other than that, I think that's brilliant that they're working out how to do this with stickers without the things being damaged when you take them off. And it's getting better as lifetime goes on. They're listening to people. It's a miracle. Somewhere. Yes, there we go. So I'll just put that away. And I hope that was time well spent. Right. Next up, the one that probably a lot of people, this one will be one that a lot of people have got in one format or another. And this is the 4K Steelbook for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Love that design, very different from all the rest of the designs on all the Amarais, etc. I think it looks really, really good. I think Big Paul has done an unboxing of this where you can see the gold and bronze, gold stroke bronze steelbook colour. That it's all the way around that they use as a sort of like a motif, which is very, very nice. Right, next up we have Red Sun 4K Steelbook. This looks like an interesting story. It's Charles Bronson, Ursula Andress, and apparently it's based on a true story where an outlaw played by Charles Bronson is betrayed by his gang during a train robbery and is forced by the Japanese ambassador, who obviously is involved, to recover a priceless sword stolen by Lynx's, Charles Bronson's character, double-crossing partner, who's played by Alain Delon. And so he sets off with the ambassador's bodyguard, travel the west in pursuit of the double-crosser, kidnapping his girlfriend along the way to lure him out. The girlfriend is played by Ursula Andress. So they've only got 7 days to do this, so all good stuff. I do vaguely remember seeing this before, but I really like that cover as well. Very nice. Charles, I haven't seen as many. I haven't got as many Charles Bronson films in my collection as I probably should, possibly because of not having the Death Wish types. Anyway, next up we have a real edition that I've been looking forward to, and that is Nikita. This is the new 4K restoration by Studio Canal. Obviously this is not the original artwork, which is the artwork on the t-shirt, and though actually the original artwork is so iconic, I think I'd actually prefer it, at least for once. When they're doing new artwork, I actually like the new artwork as well, so that's not too bad. I love the way that they've incorporated the title onto the barrel of the Desert Eagle, which he uses throughout the film once he gets operational. Yeah, this one's got this is a 3-disc set. With the 4K, the Blu-ray, and some extras. Now, I don't know about the quality of the transfer, but this is where I intend to do my first ever, I think, attempt at a comparison between the UK 4K release, which is Studio Canal, and the US 4K release, both steelbooks. This one's by Sony Pictures. I believe they're both new 4K scans, but I suspect that being different companies, there'll be different scans. So I'm not going to claim by a long way that I've got the best system at home, but on a basic system, I'm intending to see if I can make out any significant differences, better or worse, between the two in the picture and sound. Obviously, I'm preferring the American one with regards to the artwork, but there are a number of other differences, but I don't want to go into that until I do my intended actual proper differences video. So, I mean, I've been thinking about doing a differences video for a couple of other things in the past, but that would have been much more a case of, well, they're the same release, only with alternative steelbook covers, like the upcoming Deadpool and Wolverine alternate covers, but they're obviously going to have the same contents. These, because they're different companies and different continents, could easily be different scans. I think they quite often are with Studio Canal, so I shall see. That's very, I like that. I hadn't noticed. I'm not sure it doesn't show up without opening it, and I'm not going to do that yet. But I think they've slightly made extra reflective, not only the metal on the gun frame and the title, but also Nikita's eyes, which I think is really nice. But I mean, great. It's also interesting, of course, how the UK it's just called Nikita, and America they've kept the full proper title of Femme Nikita. So yeah, that is something that I'm very pleased to have got. I got the American one when it came out in June. Now the UK one was supposed to come out in June as well, but it got pushed back for until September, so who knows why. Well, I'm sure that Studio Canal do, but not telling me. Next up, we have The Last Hunter. I saw this talked about on a couple of channels. It's been done by put out by Treasured Films. That's right. And there's been a lot of talk about Treasured Films. There's a very interesting interview by the YouTube channel Phil with a double L, who I follow. That's up to rather. With the people who run run Treasured Films and their intentions and how they go about trying to make themselves different. And it's also very interesting about they describe the process of how they get rights to do certain films and whether you bid for them, whether you just get allowed to do them. It's a very interesting interview. I really recommend you go and check that one out. In actual fact, I shall try to track it down so it's easier, and then I shall put the link in the description below. So yeah, this one apparently was for a long while was down on, well, it's described as, but I can't find it on the official list, but it was described in some areas as a video nasty, and there were some areas that had to be cut for the UK market, but all those cuts have been rescinded, so this is in full again. I think it's down to violence and probably well, there's some sexual threat and sexual images as well, gory violence, as the protagonist accepts a deadly mission to go behind enemy lines to put a stop to broadcasting of anti-war propaganda in Vietnam, I believe. And yeah, he's got it's following the suicide of his best friend, so it's obviously he's out for revenge as well, I imagine. Next one is interesting. Well, they're all interesting to me, otherwise I wouldn't have bought them. And this is The G. It's really hard to find on when you search for it, because every time you search for The G, it gives you films starting with G and all the sites. But anyway, it's all about a woman and a family. Husband are snatched from their home by a corrupt legal guardian who believes they've got hidden wealth. Their home and assets are stripped from them, and they're put into a prison-like elder care facility, which means they're trapped in a corrupt and terrifying system. And then the protagonist, the G, I think it's the grandmother, I think it stands for, and her loyal granddaughter battle to get out and get revenge on the people who did it. Really nice slip, first as an aside, but more importantly, I think it's going to be might well be a very interesting indictment on a system that means that you work all your life, you get enough money to peacefully retire, and then the system takes it all away from you and forces you into a care home. I think it might have some slightly deeper reference to that, as well as being a good film. And when I first checked it out on Rotten Tomatoes, it was one of the very few films that I'd ever seen. I think it had 100% positive rating on Rotten Tomatoes after a short period of time, at least. I dare say it's dropped a little bit by now, but so I'm really looking forward to watching this one and seeing what it's like. I don't think the cover's any different though. Same as the slip, but it's probably very nice matte. Next up, we're going to have some Halloween themed type more movies, and the next one is going to be in the second part of this video. Oh, yep, I split it in two at the last minute because it was just getting too ridiculously long. So if you liked this first part, please could you hit like and subscribe so you know when the second part goes up, which shouldn't be too long, I hope. And also, in the meantime, keep on enjoying watching the movies, watching that TV, going to the cinema, and supporting all the other YouTubers. And have a great time. Look after yourselves, and see you in the next one very, very soon, I hope. Bye.